guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to have a go at making a Aristocats cake featuring Marie, and I'm trying a buttercream covered cake for this one, something that I don't usually do. Usually I go with fondant, so we're going to go for buttercream. Now my buttercream wasn't overly white, guys. There is different ways of making it white, but I just made some buttercream and I actually put in some white food colouring, so I'm using some just caramel for this particular cake that I've got here. You can add a tiny bit of violet colour or like a purple, but you have to be really careful that you don't add too much. If you add too much, it goes a bit grey. So I just went with the white caramel. I'll put links below the video, guys, to everything that I do use. Now, I'm making this using a 6-inch cake. So I've got a 6-inch cake drum at the bottom of my cakes, and I'm just trimming each cake so they're a tiny bit smaller than my cake drum. I'm going to stick them all on. I haven't leveled it off overly well at the top, guys, but it'll be fine for this video. So I'm sticking it to the baseboard with a bit of buttercream, and then we're just going to put some buttercream between each layers. I've actually just popped in the buttercream some chocolate crisp pearls. So I'll just show you them here. I don't know if you can see them very well in the pack, guys. They're almost like a cereal / biscuit kind of thing covered in chocolate. So I just mixed some of those in my buttercream, just so it had a bit of a crunchy texture when you were biting into it. They also taste really nice as well. So I'm just going to layer that up. You don't have to put them between every layer, the crisp pearls, or you could put different things in your buttercream for flavouring. And I have got slightly different thicknesses for each of my layers. I was gonna do more layers, but the cake was getting too tall, so we're gonna leave it like it is. And we're gonna cover the whole thing in buttercream. Please excuse the mess in the background. You might be able to see my corpse bride cake in the background. That was the last video that I worked on. Let's work on some bits to decorate the cake while we put that cake in the fridge. Let the first layer of buttercream set. So I'm just going to use some fondant. I've got marshmallow flavoured fondant. And I'm using these paw cutters. Again, I'll put links in the description below, guys, to which ones they are. So you want to soften your fondant. I'm going to roll it out, and then we're going to use the plunger cutters. So you're just going to press this in, plunge it out, and it should leave us with that little paw imprint at the top. I don't know if it shows very well on camera for you guys. So I'm going to do them in some different sizes. I think I probably would use the small and the medium size one. I don't think I need the big one for this cake. And I'm also going to make some decorations in chocolate. So I've got this one here. Again, I'll put links to which one it is. Now, it's supposed to be a little bit whiter than normal white chocolate, but it's still not white. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to melt it in the microwave, and I'm going to add a little bit of that white food colouring. Because it's a chocolate, guys, you can only use certain food colours, so it needs to really be an oil-based food colouring like the one I've got here. Otherwise, it splits the chocolate and just makes it go a bit funny. I think we will do some other chocolate shapes as well. So I've got a couple of different moulds here. And we're just going to fill them with that white chocolate. I'm not going to fill every single mould because I only need a few just for decorating the top. And guys, to get a shiny effect on your chocolate, you really want to temper the chocolate, which means getting it to a certain temperature in the microwave. I have lost my thermometer, so I was just completely guessing. So I just melted it for this one rather than tempering it. Now, if we're going to make like a chocolate sail, we're going to just pour a little bit of the chocolate on some greaseproof paper. And I've kind of folded it slightly and then put a little peg in it till it dries. I'm going to stick all of this on like a marble effect board. Right, guys, so we're sticking it to this marble effect board. I'm using a kind of pre-covered board so that I don't have to worry about decorating it myself. I'm going to stick it on a turntable just to make it a little bit easier while we put this second coat of buttercream on. So I'm just putting some on the top to start with, and then we'll move on to the sides. Now you can pipe it on with a large piping nozzle. I've been trying not to use too many piping bags. I'm trying to reduce like my plastic wastage. I do have some reusable bags somewhere, but I'm not sure where they are. So I'm just palette knifing it on for this one. So once you've covered it in buttercream, you want to scrape it off using a tall scraper. So the scraper really needs to be the height of your cake. Once you've done that, it can go back in the fridge again. So I've drawn my image that I want on a piece of greaseproof paper. Just this way, I know the paper's not going to stick to my fondant. Although actually it's not fondant, it's actually modelling paste I'm using for this one, guys. This is actually the Renshaw's Flour modelling paste. Again, I'll put links below the video so you know which one I've used. So I've just drawn out my image on greaseproof paper. So you could do whatever image you wanted. It doesn't have to be Marie the cat. And then I've put it on my modelling paste, and then I've kind of drawn over the lines with the pointy end of my Dresden tool. So it's left me indentation. So it's not like a perfect image, but it's enough of a guideline that I can then go over it again and put in some more details. And obviously you can keep looking at the picture you've got as well for reference, so you know whereabouts to put all those lines. And I'm just going to stick a little bit on 3D for her nose. And then I'm going to cut around the outside edge. Now, if it's a little bit soft, give it 10-15 minutes before you cut into it. But you also want to make sure you've not left it so long that if you try cutting around the edge of it, that it's cracking and falling apart when you're doing it. So there she is. I'm going to leave her now to set. So I'm just going to pop out a chocolate, see if that's set while we wait for her to dry. The other thing I'm also going to make is a little name. So you can put wording or whatever you like on there. Now you can buy, I've seen on a lot of cakes, people buy wording and names. So that they're made out of it's coloured pieces of acrylic. They look really nice. Like I say, I do use a lot of plastic stuff and I'm trying to cut down on plastic. So rather than me buying ready-made plaques in plastic or acrylic, I'm just going to make my own. So I'm using the modelling paste again. My letters I'm using are plastic now, but they're reusable ones. So you push in the letters to create an indentation, and I'm going to leave that to firm up for 10 minutes or so before we start going back around it, cutting it out. And then what I'm going to do is, while I'm waiting for that to dry, I am just going to paint the pink pads onto my little cat paw prints. So I'm just using an edible powder, and I've mixed it with a dipping solution. You can use clear alcohol as well. Clear alcohol or dipping solution, it works better than mixing it with water. If you mix your paints with water or the powders, they can sometimes go a bit sort of bitty rather than a smooth paint. So I'm just using the pink. So there's not many colours on this one. I'm using a darker pink to kind of give it a bit more shading. I think this one's the strawberry colour is the darker one. And then I'm going to use a little bit of black. I'm going to dilute it down quite a bit so it's more grey than a really dark black. And I'm just going to go around some of those outlines with a thin brush, just so you can see them a little bit better. And then we're going to go a little bit darker for her eyes and eyelashes. And then while I've got that paint there, we're going to paint it into those letterings that we did earlier. It's actually quite tricky painting inside the letters and not getting the paint everywhere. It is food colour, guys. When I say paint, I do mean it is food colouring, so it is all edible. If you want to add more shading on your prints, you can do. Go with what you like the look of for it. You can blend them together while they're still wet. Let's see if our chocolate sail is set. Just be careful pulling this off your greaseproof paper. If you folded the paper really tightly together, it's going to be much harder to remove the greaseproof paper. And then if you want to add any extra colour to it, you can do. Now I apologise, guys, I didn't realise when I had the camera I had it quite high up on my board, so I'm holding a lot of the stuff fairly low down on the camera without realising you guys couldn't really see it properly. So again, these coloured powders, if you want to change the colour of any of those chocolates that you made earlier, you can do. So a bit of dusting on there. And now this lettering has firmed up a little bit, but it hasn't fully set. So I'm now going to cut around the outer edges. So I don't want to cut too close to the pink lettering. I want to leave a decent amount of white showing like that. And I think it looks similar-ish to those acrylic letters that you can get for the cakes. And of course you can eat it as well, this one. And then I'm just going to have a look through my little sprinkle mix here. So this is just some sprinkles I already had open, these ones. I'll put links below to which ones they are as well if you want the same ones. But I just pulled out the pink ones. And if you want to straighten off your cake at the top, so I've taken this cake back out of the fridge now, it has been setting in there, and just using a knife to neaten off the edges. And I'm going to cover up that baseboard with a bit of ribbon. Now, my final coat of buttercream, it's not overly neat, but because I'm sticking quite a few things on the cake, I thought it would be okay like that. Just going to tie my ribbon into a bit of a bow, because Marie has quite a big pink bow, so let's make that feature on the cake. Now, of course, mine's in ribbon because I'm going for ease, but you can make one in modelling paste if you like. You could make it in fondant as well. It's just a little bit trickier in fondant. So I'm sticking it on with some buttercream, overlapping it there. Now, you can see the seam, but our little Marie is going to stick over that. If you find the buttercream doesn't stick it well enough, you could use melted chocolate and that will stick it really firmly as well. But I'm just using the buttercream. Now, I have made sure Marie has set solid before I stuck her to the cake. So she's actually had overnight to dry. And then you're going to place your other bits and pieces. So your sprinkles, your little paws. Just make sure that you're not putting anything too heavy on the side of the cake because it might slide down. Let's put our chocolate sail on the top there. I'm going to put a little bit of buttercream just at the back of it so it doesn't fall backwards. Then I'm just trying to work out where to put things. So have a bit of a play around before you commit to sticking them on. And then my chocolate pieces are going on as well. I've also got some pink meringues. Would you guys like to see a video of making meringues actually? It's something I've not done for filming before. Maybe it's something I should do. Let me know in the comments below, guys, what else you'd like to see me make in videos. So there we go. I've just added sprinkles, little meringues, anything really that you think will taste nice on the cake and look nice. I've put some on the board as well. And this one, guys, I'm going to give to my next door neighbour as it's her 16th birthday at the weekend. I know a lot of you guys ask what I do with the cakes. Usually my dad eats most of them. This one's going to my next door neighbour. But that's it. I hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. Don't forget to check out all my other YouTube tutorials and subscribe for new weekly ones. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, be sure to hit the thumbs up button and leave me a comment below. You can see more of my tutorials by clicking on the images on screen now. If you haven't already, make sure you click the subscribe button to stay up to date with my future tutorials. There are also links in the description box below where you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and more.